Hello and welcome back to Wario Land 3, and today we have some other interesting little things to do. One of them seems a little bit mean, but we'll get there when we get there. It's time to start charging through a bunch of walls. A bunch of floors, rather. Back to the peaceful village. I haven't been here for a while. So we need to be up here. It's one of the first doors we actually entered ever, really. This guy is just to get the coin. We don't need that right now, so let's just move on. Now this guy we can actually move. Not like this, but like this. I quite like the way you use the momentum, like you use the vibration to move him. That's quite fun. We're about to do something reasonably, something that's quite unneighbourly. See, we're in the village avoiding this big rat. How do we avoid this rat? Yeah, first of all, I'm just checking to see if we can go down by any of these pipes, because, I want to see if I can start any further to the right, but it's not the case. So, the thing we have to do here that's quite unneighbourly is, while avoiding the rat, we have to go to all these. But if you look at the water, these are sewer pipes. We're ruining the plumbing in the peaceful village. So many zombies and chefs will be unable to get a shower this morning. Probably the reason the rat's chasing us down is probably the bloody plumber. And I got quite lucky on this section, really. There's a few points where I almost got caught by the rat, but yeah. I just found that quite funny that you're basically destroying the infrastructure of the peaceful village to get this chest. Yet another thing Wario does in this game that's needlessly destructive. In a very suspicious way. And what that does is it allows it allows us to switch between day and night at will, without having to go into a level first, which is nice. So now see Total Rocks, another one that's not quite tricky, but I felt like an idiot when I realised what I'd been missing here, because this is quite like a simple puzzle. You have to do this. I was here so long between these pipes that just loop constantly, trying to figure out what to do here. It was so annoying to try and figure out what I was meant to do. I do quite like this area with the looping pipes, though. It reminds me of the original, probably a little bit throwback to the original Mario game. The original Mario Brothers, not Super Mario World. Because the original Mario Brothers was just a looping pipes. It wasn't even a platformer yet properly. It was more of a combat game. Well, not quite, but yeah, you're mostly using the fighting little monsters that were coming out of the pipes, and then using the pipes to loop around the other side of the thing. It was more of a spin-off of Donkey Kong than anything else. So it's kind of fun to have a throwback to that in this particular thing, while I struggle to get the timing on this right. Yeah, this is one of those areas where it's quite a simple solution, but you can really overcomplicate it if you don't realise what you're meant to be doing. Because you can get really confused and think maybe that door's anything, but it's not really... Whoops. But the door isn't really anything at all, which is quite annoying, really. Unless it's something for later. It's probably going to be something for later that I haven't unlocked yet. So now it's time to do the same thing in the other direction. But yeah, it took me ages to solve this puzzle. I felt like an idiot when I realised what I wanted to do. But that's the main thing with this game, is that because of how simple the mechanics can be, sometimes it has a solution that's incredibly simple, so simple that you completely overlook it. Which is always embarrassing when that happens. But here we go. We've got the rhythm, so now we're back up here. So now it's time to go into the desert ruins all the way to the left, so I'm glad I came in tonight. Although, I think now, if I remember correctly, I think we can just charge through those day and night blocks now that block this area off, but I can't remember because I didn't need to do it here. I'll test it out later. But here we have a rather fun little puzzle, using the bat to get up beyond all of these little, get up past all of these little light beams. It's a fun way of using them, really, to turn them into a little platforming puzzle. Because always finding fun little unique ways of playing with its mechanics. This is quite a cute one. Just have to get the timing right, but it also gets a bit tighter as you go further up the room, because the shafts get closer and closer. Something I also quite like with this is that the windows don't actually have any glass in them. Which means you can stand in them. And this took forever for me to find this one. Because I was just breaking all the blocks except that one. Or trying to break all the blocks except that one, but none of the other blocks break. So I was just kind of like, I hit a bunch of them and then failed, and then just completely second guessed myself as to what I was trying to do. It's quite interesting that we need to be bouncy Wario to get up here, because it kind of implies something quite interesting about that platform that we are about to activate by hitting this switch from the previous room. Because we have to be able to fly to get up there, or at least get really high up to get there. And of course it also blocks us off there as well, which is kind of cheeky. Just to avoid us having too easy a time to get up to that door. But yeah, this is why it's interesting. This boss can float. It's probably a switch that he uses to disable the platform to his doors for security purposes, which is always quite funny to see when you see, like, if a room's layout not just being a platforming layout, but like realizing there's actually a reason for it to be laid out that way. In this case, it's so that the boss can be the only one to actually be able to access this room under normal circumstances, because he can float. And as you can see from that little hole in the wall, he can enter doorways while floating as well. This is quite a cute little boss. You just have to avoid him, hit him in the head, and then it releases a little pump. So of course you hit him hit the pump, and that inflates him a little bit. But of course, every time you hit him, it becomes harder to hit him because he's bigger. So you have to get just the right peak of the jump to actually be able to hit him the third time. And it makes it quite tricky, really. But it took me a few tries to get the idea. He also has another attack that I didn't show off, but like he can kind of fire his little arrow things at you as well. And all of them just make you inflate and float to the top of the room. Now we have two pieces of the sun sigil. That's what I'm calling it anyway. And of course, now that they all think the sun's up, they'll go to sleep. And that means they're now lower, so we can actually reach them now. And where did we see owls? Colossal Hole? Frigid Sea? Castle of Illusions. So, but of course, we also have something we can do in the West Crater as well, which I nearly forgot about. But this was actually quite a tricky area, because compared to the hole, the West Crater is a little bit harder to navigate. So it took me a while to realise where to actually go here, because there's a lot of these big areas. It's kind of a big area, you can't really see much of it all at once as well. There's kind of problems with some of these big rooms is it can be kind of like hard to get the layout of the room correct and remember where everything is and remember even what there is in that room, because it's such a big room, and then it takes such a long time before you come back here. You completely forget what this level looks like, which is kind of a problem with the way this game's, not really a problem, it's the way the game's laid out, the way the layout is designed. It's designed so that by the time you need to go back to earlier levels, you've forgotten the layouts, you have to relearn them. Which is where the challenge, of course, comes in at the later half of the game, is remembering what the layout of a room is. Of course, we need the key here. We've actually seen the red key before, we've actually got it before, we just couldn't use it at the time. It's over here, and this is much easier to break through as well now. That's part of the reason that I really like having the overalls and the garlic, because we can just really smash through all of these walls so much faster than we could before, but we have to do it one block at a time. And yeah, we've done this puzzle before, getting this guy up to the top of this room. So we don't need to see the whole thing again. Let's just show the highlights. I always hate these like vertical shafts where you're really close to a wall, because it's so easy to accidentally drop the little enemy. And of course you can't just jump there because you'd hit the top, but there we go. Now let's respawn the enemies to get him back so we can get him up the rest of the way. Now, it's always annoying when you accidentally kill the enemy. It's kind of problem with any kind of like puzzle we have to use an enemy that can die. It reminds me a bit of those really annoying moments in every classic God of War game, which is why I hate playing those God of War games. They always have that really annoying bit where you have like a thing that you have to get up a slope of some kind. Or like, not even up a slope, just like through a room where something keeps pushing it back. Like the cage with the guy in it from the first game, that sucked. And also the statue in the fire room that's constantly pushing the statue back. That was just like... That's why I prefer the more recent God of War games, because I quite like the stories, and they just have a lot less of those really annoying bits. I mean, certainly, like, some bits are still kind of a little bit annoying, like the first game's Niflheim, but even then, they're annoying in a way you can kind of figure out, and they're kind of consistently annoying. Like, annoying in a consistent way. But yeah, we need to get this guy back down, because now we need to get out of this area, we need to be Yarn Wario. So let's get him back down so we can actually be in a place where he can more easily turn us into Yarn. There we go. Bye bye! Well, I guess more like, accurately, it really should be called Silk Wario. Because of course, not really caterpillars, I believe they're more silkworms. But that's if you want it to be kind of, overly scientifically accurate about it. Because in this case, caterpillar and threads works because pupae, yeah. Now we have a little sword. Can't use it because it's not really Wario's style. It's just a little passive item that's just padding out the treasure list, but it's a cool little item. There's quite a lot of those. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and also join my Patreon. Thank you for James Rossi for already doing so at the Bio Enchanted Legs tier.